There's a moment every gardener hits where frustration outweighs enthusiasm. For me, it came while standing over a half-finished compost pile that had gone cold for the third time in a row. I had done everything the so-called experts insist you must do. Turn it weekly, check moisture constantly, add browns, add greens, add more browns, turn it again. Yet the pile stayed stubbornly mediocre. The soil I wanted, the dark, rich, crumbly compost that practically hums with life, never seemed to materialize. Then a chance conversation with an old farmer changed everything. He spoke of a method he learned from his grandfather, who learned it from his father long before modern compost rules took over. "Stop turning it," he said. "Let the microbes build something real. You're interrupting the work." It sounded reckless, even lazy, but I tried it. And what happened next shook my faith in every tidy garden lecture I'd heard. The pile grew darker, richer, and more alive than ever. Compost transforms deeper when you stop disturbing the microbial layers. One of the first things I noticed after I stopped turning my compost was that the internal layers stabilized. When compost is constantly flipped, the heat-producing bacteria never get time to establish a consistent colony. Anaerobic pockets form, moisture drifts, the pile cools faster. But when it's left alone, the layers form a natural gradient of life. Heat generating thermophiles in the core, mesophiles breaking down the outer layers, fungi threading throughout, and a slow progression from fresh scraps to humus. This quiet, uninterrupted structure allows microbes to do what they evolved to do for millions of years: break down organic matter in stages. In my own pile, the centre began to heat steadily, not in dramatic spikes, but in a slow, enduring burn. The outer crust softened instead of drying. Fungal threads, usually broken by turning, spread through the material. Over weeks, what had once been a confused tangle of half-rotted scraps became a layered living engine of decomposition. The no-turn method creates a fungal-driven compost rather than a bacterial flash burn. Traditional turning-based composting favours fast, aggressive bacterial decomposition. It produces heat quickly but burns out just as fast. In contrast, the no-turn method encourages fungi, which thrive in low-disturbance environments and break down tougher materials, wood chips, stems, leaves, into long-lasting humus. This is the kind of compost forests rely on, the same kind gardeners marvel at when they walk through old, undisturbed woodland. In my pile, I saw this shift firsthand. Tough stems that normally resisted breakdown softened and vanished. Shredded cardboard and old leaves transformed into black flakes of humus. Even kitchen scraps broke down more evenly. The finished compost had a darker, richer colour because fungi build stable carbon compounds, the foundation of long-lasting soil fertility. One of the surprising advantages of leaving compost untouched is that, well, the pile sort of learns to regulate itself. You see, turning often introduces too much air at once, which speeds up decomposition and causes moisture to evaporate. It's a cycle many gardeners fall into. Honestly, the more you turn, the more water you lose, and the more the pile dries, the more you turn, trying to fix it. With the no-turn method, though, moisture is preserved. The outer crust acts as a natural barrier, holding humidity in the core. Food scraps break down slower, but, more thoroughly, and the entire pile maintains this soft, sponge-like interior. The trick is simple, really. Once you set it up, your job is just to feed the top layers and leave everything underneath untouched. I found that even in dry months, the core remained damp without needing constant watering. All right, here are some practical steps to build your own no-turn compost pile. Start with a base of carbon, dry leaves, shredded paper, old straw or mulch to absorb moisture and form a solid foundation. Then add kitchen scraps or green waste on top and cover it all with another thin blanket of carbon to keep smells down and pests out. Each time you add new material, resist the urge to bury it deep. Simply layer fresh greens on top and cover with browns. That's all there is to it. The pile becomes a vertical timeline. Fresh material at the top, half-finished material in the middle, and black compost ready at the bottom. Every few months, dig in from the side to scoop finished compost from the base while leaving the upper layers untouched. This simple rhythm requires no tools beyond a shovel. No turning forks, no pitchfork marathons, no breaking your back. The results are slower but far richer than fast composting methods. When I stopped turning my pile, I expected slower results. And yes, the process takes a little more time. But time is not wasted when quality is the goal. The compost that emerged from the base of my pile wasn't just decayed organic matter. It was humus, deep brown, earthy, soft, and loaded with stable carbon. Plants responded visibly. Soil in my garden beds darkened. Water retention improved. Microbial life spread through the soil like an invisible army rebuilding the land. It reminded me of historical farming methods where decomposition happened steadily and quietly, where farmers enhanced soil by respecting natural rhythms rather than rushing them. The no-turn method rewards patience with the best compost your soil will ever receive. The lesson is simple. Sometimes the old, quiet methods outperform the modern, hyperactive ones. By stepping back and letting the pile develop its own layers, the compost becomes richer, darker and more biologically powerful than anything produced by constant flipping. If you want more forgotten farming tricks, soil building experiments and practical systems that actually work in the real world, subscribe to Farm Logic. Share this with someone who's tired of turning their compost, and stay tuned for more field-tested secrets worth bringing back.